Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and today is the day. Finally, you guys can stop yelling at us. We're gonna wash the 34 Ford and start polishing the paint up. I've been trying to balance my crazy schedule with also Kevin from True Shine's crazy schedule, and finally we got a good weekend where he and I can work together and get the paint cleaned up and also some of the chrome on this car and get this thing turned around and looking as good outside as it looks on the inside. So we're just going to show you the process along the way. I'm going to let Kevin take the lead with some tips and tricks with doing the polishing on the paint, and hopefully by the end of this we'll have a nice shiny car and give you guys an awesome transformation by the end of it. So let's get started. Alright, so of course it's raining and I need to just give it a quick wash with the hose to knock off all the major dirt. So I'm going to pull it outside, try and get that done in the rain. Why not wash the car in the rain? But luckily now we can start this thing with my little nurse tank and back it out. It's just literally washing it. It's like...
This makes it true like backyard then with the hose and the...
Oh yeah, we're keeping it all.
So which way is the best way, or doesn't it?
It doesn't really matter. It's probably sealed up pretty good, but it's just like,
Right.
it is a cloth roof insert, so it's not going to be...
Gotcha.
Like the power washer would definitely have made it leak.
Would what?
Would make the roof insert
Oh yeah,
leak. If you went...
yeah.
So what is an all-purpose cleaner when we're washing it here?
This is just gonna give it more of like a grit, I guess, or a bite, or just more cleaning power. Since we're not really worried about like marking up, like it won't mark the paint up. It's a pretty safe all-purpose cleaner anyways that I use for interiors. It just gives it more cleaning, the soap more cleaning power.
Okay, so rather than just putting normal soap on it, it'll help knock some of the
dirt off.
that's like embedded in the paint.
Right. If it was a sunny day and this is a big black car, that might be a different story. But given the circumstances, this works fine.
Yeah, you treat this different than a brand new clean Porsche Ferrari.
Yeah. And I've done it before. White work vans, so I know.
You know the limits of what you're working with.
Yeah.
It already looks 100 times better. We didn't even do anything. Just wash it. Yeah, you guys can see like he washed it off, but there's like this dirt that's just like caked on it that just isn't gonna come off. We don't want to hit it with a crazy power washer because this old paint will probably just like...
Yeah. No need.
It'll peel the paint, this old freaking lacquer or whatever enamel paint off. Yeah, so that stuff's coming right off now.
Yeah. Definitely need some elbow grease, but it's coming off.
Yeah, like me not knowing anything about detailing, like I look at these like streaks where but it's like you can tell it's like dirt.
Right.
It's hard to get it to focus, but there's like weird little streaks in it, but it's just the dirt that's like embedded in.
Yeah.
Really crazy. So it happens when it sits for 50 years. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I'm trying to let you guys see here. Definitely don't use your nice mitt for this clean job.
No, yeah. Whatever I got.
Got a really dirty car, you get the junky one out. So there's still some like a little bit of grittiness. We saw when we picked the car up, there was a little motorcycle that was sitting right next to the car that was all taped up like he was painting that next to the car. So I think there's like some overspray grittiness on the car just because it was right next to it.
Something.
Yeah, a little two-car garage, he was doing what he could.
Yeah. That's it.
Let's see. I have this one here, is that, or do you have?
Nope, that's perfect.
Okay. So the pinstripe on this thing is not in very good shape. It's just a cheap tape one that was put on, but the adhesive is going away. So we can just try and take most of it off. We're hoping the eraser wheel will take the residue off when we get to that point. So, gotta take it off and maybe we'll get a proper painted one put on back on. You can see it's just all the way around the car.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, that's part of it. If only it was that easy.
If only the whole thing was that easy?
Yeah, because it didn't take the whole.
Oh, I got you.
So we already got one little door section here done. It's looking sweet. So what's the combo of pads that we found that works the best here?
After doing everything, we got the black, well, it was black, with the
Step two?
Step two. This is like a polish. There's maybe a hair of compound in there, I guess, so to speak, but it's mainly polish and a swirl remover if there was any, but yeah, no, it's definitely worked out.
And then we tried the red pad first. This is like the really, I guess, ultra fine. And we started out with this like
ultra fine
compound, or I guess it's polish, that we used from when we were doing the T with the black. But that didn't really put a dent, if you will, in the haze that was in this. I guess there's something on the surface of it, so we needed something slightly more aggressive. And the other little tip that we've seen the polish kind of it's like sticking into the paint or something.
Yeah, like it leaves a little bit of a residue, so I'll use this to kind of wipe it off. And then just as a final test to see what the outcome would be, I kind of hand wiped on some of that final polish, which will just kind of even everything out. At the end, we'll probably put like a nicer wax on, which will really even it out, but just to make sure that would be the correct process, I went further and just kind of did this little bit by hand, and it just definitely...
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be...
Sure.
There's gonna be scratches, there's gonna be imperfections, there's gonna be chips.
Finish we want in a correct time fashion, and just seems to be the best process.
So he's just using like a normal like detail type spray, nothing special for the wiping. Because I'm asking Kevin questions every step of the way, like what's that? What are you doing here? So hopefully you guys find some. This is helpful for you guys, but it's coming out.
Yeah,
really
so you can
good.
kind of see if you can. It's like hazy here because I didn't wipe it. So if we just eventually, when the whole thing's done, I'm just gonna come around and then final wipe it with something, and then once you kind of hand buff that off. Like if you did it just by hand, it might look good, but it's gonna like fade off a lot easier.
Because you're not really taking any material
Right, you're just
off.
kind of like making it shiny. That'll fade, whereas at least with the buffing, we're taking stuff off and then putting a shine back on it, so.
Yeah, it's looking good. Sweet. All right, we're gonna keep working on the side of the car. We'll show you guys as we get a little bit further.
And it's nice that there's really not a roof.
Yeah.
Like there is, but it's not like
A polishable section, yeah. Yeah, you go over the edges and you're done. Just that rear fender and the door, it's like so shiny. Great. I've been having a yard sale.
This is like out of your element, man.
Yeah,
What's that gonna do when you have all these cars to wash?
It's gonna be great. I told you, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm old. I just sit around and wash my cars and like, drink coffee and look at my stuff. And
yeah, right?
people come over and buy things, and I just like look at my cars, and then I drive them to have lunch with all my other old friends. So you gotta get a car going, so when we're old, we can drive to the McDonald's and drink coffee. And
yeah.
so Kevin swapped to a smaller polisher here to get into the tight areas. All right, so while Kevin's working on the front end here, we decided we're gonna take the spare tire cover off, or the spare tire cover and spare tire, so he can get an even polish around the back of this. I haven't even taken this cover off yet since I've had the car, so I think it has a 40 Ford wheel underneath, but we're not quite sure. We'll see what's under there. Maybe Larry hid a bag full of cash under there. I never know. We're gonna find out. All right.
All these 32s you got, they probably think you did find a bag of money in there.
I don't have any money. How many kids? That's what the rule is. That's my bag of money. I don't have children.
Oh, there you go. Look at you.
Nothing wrong with having children. It's just that's the only reason I have spare money to buy multiple 32s.
Right.
It's because you're internet famous and you just had 13 people come buy your junk today. Let's be honest.
I almost did fund that new 32 with just selling junk. No, not really.
Listen, I'm not mad at you.
I mean, it was all my stuff. So they put a little porta wall on here to match the front and rear tires. It's pretty cool. It's an old Golf brand tire you would have got at the gas station. for the spare. It's actually in like a brand new tire. Really cool. Obviously we wouldn't really run it on the street because it's all dried out, but just kind of neat to see. It's got a later outer nub hubcap style wheel here, but still 5x5.5. So I thought it was a 44 and I reached my hand in, but I was wrong. Still cool. All right, so we're gonna take this spare tire bracket off. I've been kind of wanting to take it off since I got in the car because I kind of want to see what the car looks like without the spare tire on. I think it might look a little cleaner. And we want to polish around it anyways, so we're just gonna take it off. I'm hoping they paint it underneath of the bracket so that we can try the car out without having it on, but we will see. Get these other two out, which of course are not as easy to get to. There we go. And they're of course, they didn't paint it. Damn it.
The old.
I wonder if I can dust red paint in there. That stinks. I kind of had a feeling
It
that
looks
they...
way cooler without it too.
Doesn't it? Maybe we'll leave it off and I'll just dust some paint in there.
You should put like black in there where it match the, just like a random black horseshoe.
Doesn't it look way cooler without it?
Without, yeah.
So a little of this magical glass cleaner we got from one of our viewers from, I think from Canada. And I'm actually using it on the old chrome with some of this super fine steel wool. It just kind of works nice for me. I don't know if... So just throw some of that on, some of the steel wool, and luckily this chrome isn't too pitted. It's just stained a little bit, so it's actually coming up pretty good with not too much effort. Alright, so finally, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I get to clean these little scavenger pipes that have a little bit of rust on them. Hoping they clean up. I know they're not going to come up perfect, but definitely because these were sitting close to the ground, the chrome didn't fare as well as some of the other stuff. And I'm sure these old scavenger pipes were kind of cheaply chromed, like the Mickey Thompson wheels and stuff. The chrome was probably a lot nicer on them than these cheap, like auto parts store J.C. Whitney scavenger pipes would have been. But as long as they look a little better, they'll match the perfectly shittiness of the car. The shit-tina, if you will. There we go. Not great, but better. Try and get this other side. Much better. Cool. Heck yeah. Alright guys, so Kevin from True Shine got the car all polished up and it's looking awesome. Super happy with how the paint transformed. Now I do want to remind you guys, the paint on this car is from like the mid 60s, and we think very probably hand rubbed this thing a bunch of times because it was his pride and joy, and the paint is getting a little thin in some areas, and like the doors and some different spots You can obviously start to see through the paint. It's not burned through, but you can start seeing shadows of maybe primer marks or things like that. So we definitely had to stop. We waxed the car to kind of seal everything up, and as long as we maintain the car, we shouldn't need to take any more paint off. We can just, you know, basically keep it cleaned up. So happy with how everything came out. I polished up all the chrome just to kind of give the effect. We're definitely going to go over the wheels a little better when we go to put new tires and everything on. But I just want to shine it up to see what it would look like. So really all that's left, big things we need to do is go through the fuel tank and the fuel lines, blow them all out, clean them all out. I took a peek inside the tank. I don't think it's too bad, and I think we could save it. We need to hook up the radiator and everything once we get the fuel lines finally connected for the final time. And brakes and tires, of course, and we're pretty much ready for the road, which is really awesome. So hopefully within like a month, I'm hoping to get this thing on its first test drive on the road, if everything goes well, and we're gonna take you guys along for the ride as always. So thank you guys for watching, appreciate it. Catch you later.